Hundreds of Ghanaians under the leadership of the Trades Union Congress are demonstrating all over the country this morning to protest the harsh state of the economy, which they say is badly affecting them. What exactly do these protesters want and hope to achieve at the end of the day? And it's not the first time or the first kind of demonstration in this month, nor the year. We've not seen anything yet, and there's been several almost every week or every month, if you like. And as of yesterday, the West African Network for Peace Building issued its first report for the quarter, warning of a national security threat that could arise from the spate of demonstrations in the country lately. Now, so I want us to dwell on that matter for a bit, and I have over the telephone Emmanuel Bombande. Emmanuel Bombande is with the West African Network for Peace Building. Thank you very much for your time here on the program, Emmanuel.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Absolutely. Emmanuel, with what you've seen so far, how would you rope it into the report you released earlier?
Well, first of all, if you were to look at the media hype that preceded the organized labor plan for demonstration, what emerges very clearly is to appreciate two things. That one, it is established in our constitutional dispensation. It is part of our democratic practice to allow that space for people who want to go out and manifest their frustrations in whichever way on issues that they consider to be important. But whilst they do that, it carries along with it the responsibility to do it peacefully. And that is why, if we respect the rule of law and if we want to sustain our democratic practice, we must have that freedoms and liberty to be able to demonstrate, but carry along with it the responsibility to ensure that we behave peacefully. To that extent, if you observe so far, we have no difficulty. The difficulty arises when people then try to exploit this type of space that is created by organized labor to achieve other interests and other means that is not, in my view, well articulated, but it is hidden behind the type of environment that you currently see prevailing. It is for that matter that all of us would continue to depend on the Ghana Police Service to be efficient in their professionalism and to be able to deal with this adequately.
But so far, what would be your assessment of the demonstration, this particular nationwide demonstration?
Well, for me, it doesn't mean because it is a nationwide demonstration, we should be too apprehensive about the fact that there is a nationwide demonstration. The fact of the matter is that organized labor, first of all, began by appealing to their own workers who are going to turn out for the demonstration to be peaceful. But beyond that, we have kind of looked at all the issues from the various perspectives and lenses. And a lot of it is dwelling on the current economic environment. Now, if you wanted us to do a very quick appreciation of that, do not forget that each country, since 2008, when the global economic downturn began to bite, each country has had to deal with it in very different ways at their approaches. I can mention Argentina, I can mention quite a number of countries, Portugal. The point I want to make is this. Whilst we all work collectively to improve that economic environment, we cannot do anything to further jeopardize it and even become more vulnerable in trying to raise the issues that confront us. And that's why there is a balance. How you raise the issue and how you deal with it in such a manner that you maintain that sense of purpose as a nation and continue to mobilize that drive to respond to the challenges. So that if you try to raise the issues in such a way that you overstep the boundaries of how you want to deal with the issue, then you even become more vulnerable. And that is why some other analysts, including my friend Kwesienin, was drawing attention to making sure that people do not allow this space to be infiltrated And he was referring to a very volatile West African region in which you don't know who is looking at Ghana and trying to find an entry to create the type of destabilization that we are seeing in other countries. So it's a very complex issue, and we need to be able to exercise our democracy, but also with the care that we do not become more vulnerable to the threats that are pervasive in the region, and that we continue to sustain the efforts to resuscitate the economy.
Emmanuel, I'm going to have you hold the line. DSP Cephas Arthur, Police PRS, joins the conversation. You're welcome to the program, DSP. DSP, if you could speak up, I can barely hear you. Are you there?
Hello?
What will be the police's assessment of the demonstration so far across the country?
So far the demonstration has been peaceful. Leadership of the Trade Union Congress and the police are cooperating very well. It has been so smooth. It's been so manageable. And so, in one word, successful up to this point.
What were these the numbers you were expecting?
Hello?
I'm asking if the numbers you see were what you were expecting across the country generally.
Well, I wouldn't say as we're expecting. I'm not good at making estimates, but I can tell you that the numbers are manageable, and we have a handle over the situation, and so there's no cause for alarm. Other people who don't want to take part in the demonstration are going about their activities, socio-economic activities in peace. So it is manageable, and we are still on. We are just approaching the Independence Square where we have decided to congregate now.
I see. DSP, please hold the line briefly. Emmanuel Bombade is the Executive Director for WANEP. We started the conversation with him. Emmanuel,
Yes.
now please tell us that the numbers are manageable. You and I recall that earlier the police had such that though they could provide security, very large numbers could be problematic for them, and wanted this demonstration held on regional basis, region by region. Now we see a manageable number. Are there particular things the police should be looking out for on the back of the conversation we've had already?
Yes, what the police, I believe, would be looking out for are people who are opportunists and want to take advantage of the workers' demonstrations to cause the type of trouble that we absolutely do not need. Now, you noted that our good friend and officer on the other line kept on talking about the cooperation that they are receiving from the organizers of the demonstrations. That's exactly what I was referring to. Because when that begins to happen, what you notice is that it helps the police to be professional, to be effective in how they are managing the demonstration, so that at the end of the day, we can all appreciate the peacefulness of the demonstration. It is when the organizers, including their leadership, are not taking the leadership in ensuring that the demonstrations are strictly according to their plan, that people can then take advantage of it to create that type of, I don't want to use the word mayhem, but the type of trouble that the police obviously would nip in the bud. So it's good democratic practice that we are seeing, that they have the right to express themselves, but they are respecting the rules of engagement with the police, and this is what continues to make Ghana to stand out in Africa as a very peaceful and democratic country.
Right, DSP, before today, there were warnings of opportunists who could take advantage of the demonstration in the country today. What's the police's strategy to deal with opportunists today? Hello, DSP. DSP, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you.
I was asking what the police intends to do about detractors today.
What we intend to do what?
About detractors today.
About what?
About persons who could cause unnecessary disturbances.
Wow, I can hear what the police intend to do about something. What about
about people who could disturb public peace today?
Oh, okay. Well, the laws are there. If you conduct yourself in a way that breaches the law or breaches the peace, you'll be dealt with according to the law. You'll be arrested, investigated, and prosecuted accordingly. And so far, I wouldn't say anybody has conducted himself or herself in a way that is that one can describe as breaching the law. It is so peaceful, but we are still looking out for people who might want to dent the otherwise peaceful demonstration up to this point.
Emmanuel, it may be early now, but I want to find out, really, you think we rushed into concluding that this demonstration could degenerate into something else?
Take it again, please.
I'm saying that it could be early in the day, but you think that we may have panicked a little too early in thinking that this demonstration could degenerate into something else?
No, nobody has demonstrated any signal of panic. You see, in security, in the maintenance of law and order, you have to make room for all possibilities. And you don't leave anything to chance when it comes to security. Even a handful of demonstrators, if they decide to go rowdy, could pose a problem and danger to the state. So I don't think any act, any pronouncement of the police or of any feeling of the general public could be described as panicking too early. No.
DSP, I'm going to let you go now and help out your colleagues who are providing security today. But Emmanuel is still over the telephone. Emmanuel.
Yes.
So I was asking, you think we may have rushed in concluding this could degenerate into something else, though is early in the day?
My good sister, I thought you raised a very important question, and my response to you is yes. And the reason I say yes is that if you look at the period, if you go back to the past 2 days, there was too much apprehension and hype about today's demonstrations. In fact, even before the day ends, some media headlines have described today as a Black Thursday. I don't know where that is coming from. To the extent that it is as if people would wish, people were like wishing that it should truly be a bad day for some reason that I'm not able to comprehend. And I keep on arguing that let's not forget that we are all in the same boat. And let's not wish for one another what is bad or evil, because at the end of the day, we would all have to deal with it collectively. And I think we are getting positive reports that the purpose of the demonstration for its peacefulness is taking place, but let us not be rushing and making conclusions that in themselves do not augur well for our image as a country, when we are at the same time trying to ensure that our democratic maturity is sustained and maintained.
Emmanuel, thank you very much once again for your time. Emmanuel Bombandi is Executive Director for the West African Network for Peace Building. Today on News Desk, we're looking at two very important matters. We are looking at organized labor's nationwide demonstration underway across the country in all 10 regions. And, well, we've seen from Accra, we've seen from the Western region. Pretty shortly, we should see what's been happening in the Upper West region, as we Upper East region rather, as we prepare to go across other regions as well. Matter number 2 on the table on News Desk today is the fact that today is the second anniversary of second anniversary after the death of Professor John Evans Atta Mills. You recall President John Evans Atta Mills died some 2 years ago today. But now let's go to the Upper West region, talk about what organized labor in that part of town is doing. Albert Sorry is our Upper East regional correspondent. He's joined me over the telephone. Hello, Albert.
Hello.
Albert, tell us what's happening in the Upper East region.
Well, here in Bolgatanga, the Upper East regional capital, the demonstration has been a little successful. What happened was there was a rain in the early hours of today. So the demonstration started later than it had been planned. They had planned to start at 7, but as at 7 a.m. it was raining, so they couldn't start at the time. Initially, a lot of people were beginning to lose hope that the demonstration would come on because it appeared people were not coming out. But eventually, people came out. The number is not too big, but it's a sizable number of people, workers from various parts, workers from various departments joined the demonstration. A while ago, they just presented a petition here at the Regional Coordinating Council, where I'm speaking to you from, to the Deputy Upper East Regional Minister, Daniel Simon.
When you say a sizable number, describe sizable.
I would say less than 500. Roughly about 300 people, if you take out the security men and the journalists who are part of the crowd.
Albert.
Yes, Kevin.
I'm going to have you host the line just for a bit. Let me go to the Bunahafo region. Nestor Kafuya-Joma is just reporting 4 persons from the demonstration have been arrested. I'm sure we want to know what it is. Hello, Nestor.
Hello, my sister.
Exactly what is the story behind the arrest?
When the demonstrators had finished their round, they had converged at the post office once more for their leaders to address them. The demonstrators were saying they wouldn't listen. They want to meet the regional minister himself. So some of them went ahead to harass the regional secretary, and the police came in. So one of the demonstrators threw a stone at one of the policemen. So the policemen started throwing tear gas. And the other demonstrators went ahead on rampage, and one of the demonstrators was injured in the process.
Imagine that.
4 of the demonstrators have been arrested by the police so far.
I see. But how did we get to the point where it had to be this bad?
What we are picking is most of the people who came around to demand that they want to see the regional minister himself were not part of the demonstration initially. They are saying they are people who came from outside to join the demonstrators to cause that commotion. That was what happened. They were chanting, "We will go, we will go, we want to see the regional minister." That is what happened.
So then what we're picking up is these persons who are arrested are not originally members of any of the groups demonstrating in the Bunahafo region.
Exactly.
I see.
What we are picking up. But they are clad in red and black.
Absolutely. Tell us about this injured person.
The injured person is gone to the municipal hospital to seek treatment for now. Yes.
How badly injured was this person?
There was a slight cut on his forehead from a stick hit. Yeah.
I see. And the 4 who were arrested, do we know where they are at the moment?
They are at the municipal police station at the moment.
I see. Yeah. So what happened to the rest of the protesters?
Everyone has run away. They all took to their hill, and they are nowhere to be found. They are nowhere to be found.
I see.
And currently, their leaders are the regional administration to meet the regional minister.
Is that to say they're going ahead to present the petition?
Exactly.
I see.
Because in the process of the commotion, the regional secretary has been whisked away by the police to the regional administration. So we are currently there.
What would be your overall assessment of the demonstration in the Bunahafo region?
In the first place, it was a peaceful demonstration from the onset. A handful of people, about 40 of them, were there. Initially, it was peaceful, as I said earlier. But for the commotion that happened, it would have been...
Will you call it successful? I think we've lost... Nestor, are you there? Are you there? I think we've lost Nestor there, but at least we got the bulk of the story. Nestor Kafuya Jome was just reporting to us the person has been injured while 4 arrested in relation to some sort of violence that broke out in the Bunahafo region as organized labor demonstrating in protest of some economic hardships in the country. Right, but Albert Sorry, who's joined us from the Upper East region, is still with us here. He's on the telephone. Hello, Albert.
Hello, Kemi.
The Upper East region was relatively peaceful.
Yes, yes.
Right. So you were telling us about the number of people who were on that demonstration.
Yes.
Right. Go ahead.
I was saying that if you look at the number, it's not as encouraging as I've seen from other regions. Probably because of the rain, a lot of people didn't come out. So I'm seeing approximately 300 people. If you take out the police officers who are providing security and the journalists who are also following them.
I see. Now, the unionized people there, unionized labor, which companies are they drawn from?
Well, I have seen the National Association of Graduate Teachers. They actually joined the demonstration with one of their vans, with NAGRA written on it. I've seen the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAS. They actually also sent a radio, announcement out, inviting all their members to make sure that they join the demonstration. And then various, I've seen some from the GPRT who have joined the demonstration as well. There are other people who I cannot immediately tell which, organizations they are coming from.
Albert, thank you very much. Albert Sorry joined us from the Upper East region, and from the Upper West region is Rafiq Salam. Hello, Rafiq.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Rafiq. You're welcome to the program. Tell us what's been happening in the Upper West region.
The Upper West region, the demonstration was scheduled to kickstart at exactly 7 p.m., 7 a.m., sorry, but because of the early morning drizzle that we had, it stopped many people from coming. And then, in the Upper West region, we have this local saying that it is only a fool who will have a house but allow the rain to beat you. And so many people stayed indoors and then until about 7:30 when they came out. So they converged first at the regional secretariat of the Trade Union Congress. From there, they moved into the streets. At the time that I got there, around 7 o'clock, only about 30 members were there. When they were to kickstart the demonstration, they were numbering about 60. So we moved into the streets. We moved in around the Adonis Cinema, and then took the U-turn, moved to the police roundabout. It was around the police roundabout that more people also joined, and at that time the number was about 120. But the police also added more people into the scene. They added about 250 policemen, and so it was more like the police were more, seeing that those pictures, the police were more than the demonstrators. And so the police outnumbered the demonstrators, and then we went round and we finally converged at the regional coordinating council where they were addressed by the acting regional secretary of the Trade Union Congress Upper West Region, Mr. Godfred Alassane Balbaria. And then after that, he presented a petition to the regional minister who was not present, but the petition was taken by the deputy Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Musebu Mohammed Alpha.
I see. Thank you very much, Rafiq, for that. Rafiq Salam joined us from the Upper West region. You remember that University Teachers Association of Ghana had issued a warning to government that it will withdraw its services if it does not pay attention to their concerns about the research and book allowance. Well, let me just tell you that they have followed through with that threat, and indeed they have withdrawn their services indefinitely. Let's touch base with that. Our reporter on the ground, Ridwan Osman Dini Karim, is joining me over the telephone. I understand that he is not ready, but I'd like to know what you think. Finally, it looks like this administration has more than 99 decisions to make, and well, just one more to add to the load it already has. Is already dealing with POTAG. It's not managed to reach a consensus or a compromise with POTAG, and now we have UTAG withdrawing its services indefinitely because of the same matter. And well, you're wondering what the future looks like for our young ones in tertiary education or tertiary schools at the moment. Like I was saying, I'd like to know what you think. Share your thoughts with me on the social media platforms. There's Joy News on TV, on Facebook, and on Twitter. If you want to reach me, there's Joy News. There is Kemini.Amano on Facebook. There's also Kemini Nyamani Amano. If you find that page just hit my like button, and let's interact on social media. I also tweet at Kemini or at Joy News on TV. I'll be more than glad to share your thoughts with the rest of us here. But I have a few of those thoughts already I would want to share. Alhaji Kums Abubakar says, I think the situation demands that. To me, it's even long overdue. I remember just a few years back, the situation in Ghana was better than it is today when Rawlings, Atta Mills, and John Mahama led a series of demonstrations they called Wahala demonstrations. Meanwhile, Danso Sechi says, Wahala o Ghana pa nie. Now, let's talk about UTAG's indefinite withdrawal of services. Kwabna Chen Hene, my colleague, has joined me over the telephone. Hello, Kwabna.
Kemini.
Kwabna, tell us what you have gathered.
Well, Kemini, the press conference just ended, and what is actually happening is that the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has today withdrawn all its teaching services from all campuses in Ghana indefinitely until their research allowance is paid, and also until government sits with them to discuss the book and research fund. It's basically about that. It's just those two reasons primarily. But they have said that what they mentioned today was that they have been patiently waiting to engage in a dialogue with government on this particular issue, but it seems government is not willing and is not showing any commitment whatsoever to actually proceed with the negotiations. So they've had to do this even after so long. They've had to take this option now.
I see. What are the exact demands on government?
I can't really hear you.
I'm asking what the exact demands on government are.
Exactly, that's what I said. There are primarily two demands. They just want their research, their book and research allowances for 2013 and 2014 to be fully paid, and also they want government to sit with them because, government actually proposed that it was going to abolish the book and research allowance in the stead of the book and research fund. And what they are saying is that since both parties agreed in actually putting this forward in the 1995-1996 academic year, it's impossible for government to take such a unilateral decision and just abolish that fund and come up with to abolish the book and research allowance in the stead of another fund. So they are calling on government to actually sit with them so that they iron out the differences with regards to the book and research fund.
POTAG has been in the same conversation with government over 2 months now. We've not seen the head or tail of that conversation except when NLC took POTAG to court, and at the end of the day, POTAG won the case over the NLC. And then it brings to mind, why would UTAG toe the same line?
Well, what UTAG is saying is that the NLC, they actually had an earlier interaction with the NLC and government, and the NLC offered that UTAG sat down with government to discuss the matter and try and sort it out amicably. They said they obliged to it, but since that time, government has still not shown any commitment and has still not done anything to show that they are actually looking forward to actually doing something about the situation. So they are saying they are constrained now. There's nothing they can do about it. It seems government is not willing to actually do anything about the said situation. So
I see. Thank you very much, Kwabna. Kwabna Chen Hene is my colleague here at Joy News. Looks like Labour chose a very good day to drum home their demands by hook or crook. Anyway, so you just coming in, the University Teachers Association of Ghana has withdrawn its services indefinitely. Now, this is to demand payment of some book and research allowances in arrears, and also a proper talk on the replacement of the book and research allowance with a research fund. We'll get you more on that in subsequent broadcasts at midday or News Today. You should make time to watch me. I just read two more of your messages and then we would wrap it up. Benis Bosso says the NPP should stop disturbing our president. And George Brown says, waste of time, Mahama Yentie Obia. Then those are thoughts coming from our Facebook page. Meanwhile, on remembering Professor Mills, Kwesi Opon in Kibwesiako says, may God comfort Mrs. Nadu Mills as she sits close to the abode and resting place of her husband. Abdul Latif Abdullah says, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Now, let me just leave you with this one. The Supreme Court will deliver its judgment Thursday on a suit filed against the Electoral Commission to stop them from accepting the National Health Insurance cards to register potential voters for the 2016 general elections. Here's what you should do if you want to know what becomes of that. Join me at News Today on News Today at midday, and let's have that conversation together with getting in touch with UTAG, find out what they hope to achieve with this, considering POTAG has been in the same battle with government over the past 2 months since they've been on strike. Why would they toe the same line? Let's find some answers on News Today later today at midday. My name is Kimini Nyamani. I'm going to thank you very much for saying so. Goodbye.